Line up, you fucking nerds. Who wants a shot at the champ?
They bring the heat.
Francis Ngannou is the hardest puncher in the history of fighting.
They bring the knowledge.
If you think this fight is going 5 rounds, you are out of your mind.
They bring you the picks.
The dog is getting it done in this one.
We deliver every single week. We're bringing the heat, ladies and gentlemen.
The money line.
Don't miss it on the MMA Experts channel each week. The Money Line, we're live. It's UFC 283 week. I'm so excited. I'm AJ with my guy, as always, Mike Finch. What's up, my brother?
Doing well over here in Huntington Beach, my friend. It's actually like 49 degrees is the low today. What the hell is going on? I need to go to Florida for a couple weeks, but we're all good over here in HB, having great time. Our Bare Knuckle episode just dropped on Bare Knuckle's Instagram channel. How cool was that to see AJ there with Mike, I was about to say Swick, Mike Perry. And, me hosting the whole thing. So if you guys haven't checked that out, big plug for BKFC. It's fun doing this content with you, bro.
Yeah, bro. It's a blast, man. We're doing it across, our own thing here at Moneyline, and then also with, the legit fight organization, Bare Knuckle, which is cool, man. I want to keep doing more, man.
I've always gone to work for the organization. That's just been my thing.
Yeah.
When I started out, I was an 18-year-old kid working for the XFO, just typing play-by-play. Then I got to do commentary for them, interviews in the back, all that type of stuff. We got on UFC Fight Pass. I was able to host it live on UFC Fight Pass. And then I got to work for HFC and Bellator. And you know what I mean? It's like, it's fun to work directly for the promotion. I like it. Like I like getting other people hyped up about fist fights. It's what I would do anyway. Like if I didn't work, if I was a construction worker, I'd still have people over on Saturday telling them, listen, Glover Teixeira is 43 years old. He's fighting for the time. I'd still be trying to get my neighbors to watch. You know what I'm saying? So we might as well do it and get paid a little bit, AJ.
Yeah, and you got a nice platform to do it with Bare Knuckle here. We're doing it all over the place, guys. We're bringing the heat across combat sports, period. Let's talk a little bit about last week before we jump into the predictions. So UFC Vegas 67, Sean Strickland steps in against Imavov. Turns out to be the best decision he could have ever made, man. He put on a good performance, outstriking the French kickboxer. I like what I saw from him, and I think he's right back in the mix now with this win.
It was ugly, but it was effective. He kept coming forward. That when Sean Strickland misses, he misses by a mile sometimes, dude. His style is so much less pretty than Imavov's. Like, if they were hitting pads, you'd be like, wow, this Imavov guy's about to fuck this freaking hillbilly up, right? But Sean Strickland, all that sparring really pays off. He really knows his range to fight at, and he threw a lot of quality punches that did land. I'm just saying they're ugly as hell when he's missing those huge overhands over the top. I'll tell you what, the champ will knock him out again doing that shit. He cannot be boxing super wild like that, but it was short notice. But it was fat Sean Strickland, and fat Sean Strickland can fight, man. Good for him. Big W for people. I love people over there at the team. Marvin Vittori's over there now at Extreme Couture. Shout out to my guy Mads Burnell, who's over there at Extreme Couture. He just flew in yesterday on Sunday. I love that team, man. Good for them, and it was fun to see. It was a pretty good fight.
Yeah, I would say. What are you going to give the score of the fight? Like maybe an 8 or 7.5 is fair.
Imavov started off kicking his ass like early in the fight. Imavov looked sharp, man. And then as the fight started to go on, I think it got fun and back and forth. As a solid,
you don't have the gas
7 out of 10. Entertainment level, I had fun.
Yeah, I feel like Imavov's my thing with him is, I guess the truth is the gas tank's going to be a concern from now on out, right? Moving forward, if he's in 5 rounds, it's not like he's absolutely dead in the 5, but his pace slows. I think what actually starts to diminish is his fighting from range. He fights all right inside, but he loses his abilities from the outside, which I think is essential against a Sean Strickland. I think Kelvin Gastelum and him is still the fight to make next. I'm interested in that matchup. I actually think Kelvin Gastelum got a good chance, man, as the fight goes long. If they do 3 rounds, then I might favor it towards Imavov. But 5 rounds, I might go KG still.
He comes out hot, dude. I think the one word for Imavov is timing. His timing. He's so sharp. His techniques are so sharp. He's tall, he's lanky, he's explosive. He's even in shape. It's just like his timing's just a little off where he's not getting the shots off quick, not getting the shots off in a sequence that's going to land. And Sean Strickland was just wise enough to make him miss all of the important punches. And you just can't do that in a fist fight. Imavov has to be more unpredictable. If he just relaxes a little more, if he's on his A game, I think he could beat a lot of these top middleweights, man. I think he's good. It's just a matter of landing. He missed all of the important punches in that fight, and he wasn't able to really deter Sean Strickland, who, again, Sean Strickland coming in on short notice, 25 minutes. Like, you would have thought Imavov, if he ever was going to show us he was a 5-round fighter, that was his opportunity. He didn't show us that yet. Still a prospect, brother.
Yeah, he's young. He's mad young. He's in his 20s, so this game is, with plenty of time in front of him. Now, co-main event, 50K Ige. He's got some power.
Good call on 50K Ige.
Thank you, bro.
We
Thank
give
you.
AJ the shout out. Good
dude,
call.
punching.
Yeah, I saw on your other show you had him up there, and it showed like the red, green, red. He's just been losing left and right. I'm talking shit about the record, and AJ stuck with it. He put up with my bullshit. He wouldn't take it, and he said 50K Ige for the win. And guess what, man? I think that was the best 50K Ige's looked, specifically his movement. He was super elusive in that cage, which really helped throw Jackson off, right? Jackson really likes it when you come straight in at him. That's when he's landing that knee up the middle we were talking about. That's when he's able to even get his grappling off, when he can line you up. It was impossible to geolocate my man Ige the entire night. Fought a really good fight. Again, shout out to Extreme Couture.
Yeah, good performance by him, man. Clean win. You look a little bit further down. You look at Punahele Soriano. Roman Kopylov looked like a straight killer, bro. He looks so good.
Why does Soriano come out there like he's like, all right, you're gonna punch me first? Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know. I think what it is because he has no distance fighting. Like, his game is built upon pressuring and bullying fighters. And like, as soon as you get that bullying style and stuck on the outside, he's just getting speared at with those jabs. He's got no answer. Like, moving forward, my take on Soriano is, unless he's fighting a guy that his game is based on inside fighting, I really can't see myself picking him in certain matchups. Like, from the outside, he's got nothing. He does not throw jabs. He's going to work hooks, and he's going to try to close the gap. And it's not like he's got that Mike Tyson head movement. A lot of times it's just forward blitz, and it doesn't really work that well against a guy like Kopylov.
When you're at range with somebody like Kopylov, what you want to make sure if you're Soriano is that no fight takes place. He wants nothing to happen out there. He wants to be bending his knees, moving his head, just touching those hands a little bit, just making sure he's not getting hit. What I'm seeing, AJ, is he's just putting up his shields and he's walking right into fire. Like, yeah, you can get a couple bullets off first, but then I'm going to go. I thought it was a failure of strategy more than anything else. He's going to want to parry shots. He's going to want to stay just far enough on the outside where he could check kicks and chill. Again, Kopylov, competent striker. He's a southpaw. It's tricky to deal with. Clearly for Soriano, had a lot of trouble with that southpaw stance and that jab, brother. Kopylov's not winding up like Soriano's. He's just popping that jab out there. Pop, pop, pop. And he was landing at a really high clip with that jab. So definitely a lot of, a lot of strategic changes that Punahele, am I saying his name right, could make. And he's got a lot of power. He's got good hands. He just needs a better delivery system.
Yeah, I think I don't know if he'll figure it out. I don't know, man. I think he's stuck in his ways. We'll see. I mean, he's still in the 20s, but the game seems to be not changing. Like, the certain matchups, Brendan Allen beat him up from the outside. Kopylov beat him up even better.
Dan Ige's his boy. Look at how mobile and good Dan Ige looks, bro. And Soriano even just copied some of that side-to-side movement. Like I'm saying, you can't fight Ige when he's standing 5 feet away from you, and then when he's on you, he's going full speed. Like, if Soriano, even took a little bit of that blueprint, my brother. Yeah, I see what you're seeing, man. He did not, he did not approach that fight the right way. Hey, there was a Dagestani who fought. Did you see this madness? He's in a tough fight, right? People are just talking about the knockout, but he was sweating a little bit. They were throwing some shots in there. It was hard for him to set up that takedown. So what does Umar do? He clips him with a shot. AJ, who was more surprised to get that knockout than Umar Nurmagomedov? He could not believe that the soul had just left the body.
That was insane, dude. That was absolutely crazy. And I got to say, I like Umar. I got to say, if there's any Dagestan guy in the lower weight classes to watch now, it's him. If his brother's already champ in Bellator, so the capabilities are there. I was always I don't know, teetering on the fence with Umar. I was like, is he that next level Dagestani or is he just more of a mid? And I'd say it looks like he's a contender. I feel like he's top 10, top 5. He's going to be a problem for a lot of guys. I'd like to see him keep fighting rank. Like, I want to see him get to the rank guys, though. Keep fighting, though. Like, don't push it too far up the rankings. But maybe if you give him somebody in like that top 12, something like that, I'd be interested.
Absolutely. He's ready. He told Dana, he's like, I'm ready. Turn me around in March. I think it was what Dana was saying. Turn him around in March. Make him a Hamzat. I want to see him fight every weekend. Let's go.
Dude, we need Hamzat back. Hamzat, he's taking a nice vacation, bro. So he's bulking up to 85, dude. You see him? He's lifting. He's getting thick.
Is that right? No, I did not see that. Look, oh, you know what? Now that you said that, I have seen that picture.
Yeah.
I wish he would try to win that 170 title first. I think Hamzat's a terrible matchup for Leon Edwards. I think there's something to be said about momentum and staying in there. And, he's not doing that. So I don't know the details, though. I don't know why. Hey, did you hear something about the UFC heavyweight champion?
I heard a little something about the UFC heavyweight champion, Mike Finch.
What did you hear? Because I've been waiting to see a UFC heavyweight title fight for a minute.
Well, Ngannou is no longer with the UFC. Our champion has decided to move on from the organization, which is a very rare thing, man. The UFC is the pinnacle, right? Brings you the best fighters in the world. When the champion walks away, that's kind of wild. I will say I'm not shocked. I thought that he'd be willing to do the Jones fight because the legacy is huge with that matchup. If you beat John Jones, hardest puncher, and he beats the GOAT, I just believe it's the fact that he knows there's too much money on the table for that Tyson Fury boxing match. Fury's serious about boxing him. He already faced off with him. I feel like the Usyk Fury fight, as much as it seems like a real possibility, is it going to happen? I don't know. I'm like 50-50 on seeing that. I don't know for sure. I could see Tyson Fury deciding to jump in there with Ngannou. Both of them make a shitload of money and just ride with the heaviest puncher, the best. They're going to advertise it as the best heavyweight in the world, the real champ, right? Versus boxing's best. Let's do it. I'm in for that fight. Let's do that in boxing. Let's get Francis's money. And then he'll be back in MMA and maybe the UFC and him can talk again.
Goliath versus Goliath, right? How insane would that be? Look, Tyson Fury is going to beat Francis Ngannou in a pure boxing match. Yeah. So, something fun, Tyson Fury, since I know you got a set on you, Gypsy King. I know you're a gangster. Take off the gloves, Gypsy King. I know your ancestors went toe to toe, knuckle to knuckle. It's in the blood. Let's see Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou in the bare knuckle fighting championship, and they could go toe the line. And I would be absolutely cage side to that. There's no way you could keep me out of the building. That would be a lot of fun because then we move it to a place where neither of them are in their sport. I like that.
I think that would be a crazy pay-per-view. I think, though, it would have to be like co-promoted because, dude, that thing's going to be the biggest show like ever. Like that card, if they can get BKFC as a promoter on it, maybe working with Francis, then you get Top Rank in on it and you do a combination show. And also, I think you give the bare knuckle guys a chance on the undercard. We get some bare knuckle fights, but we cross it with, we also have boxing matches on the card. So this is going to be a stand-up only super card. I think you bring in boxers that they're trying to build, top ranked guys, and then you also bring in the bare knuckle future stars. And I feel like we could have a pay-per-view, 5 fights, and I feel like it will meet the level of like a UFC pay-per-view. But I think it does more than UFC 283 for sure. I think that they'd sell more. Bare knuckle between those two, it sells more than 283.
Yeah. I think that Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury is an insane super fight. Absolutely, of course. Just thinking out loud here. I mean, where else would we want him to be? I mean, I work for Bellator. I'd like to see him in Bellator, but I think the UFC was the spot for him to go fight John Jones. It's just a matter of like, he did not want to be a UFC fighter anymore. And when you're there, you're there. You know, Dana's only other example, he said, like this, was like a Fedor Emelianenko. The difference is Fedor Emelianenko wasn't the UFC heavyweight champion when he left.
You talking about Randy Couture, you mean?
Fedor Emelianenko was going to sign with the UFC and they were in communication. And then Fedor didn't sign because of co-promotion things, right? You're right that Randy Couture and the UFC had beef as well, and Randy left and they're still not friends. Yeah. But I'm talking about Fedor Emelianenko signing. Dana was saying that the only one who's been sort of impossible to sign right at the top of the sport like this would be Fedor Emelianenko. The difference is Francis has the undisputed heavyweight title. It's a crazy thing to see him go, man. Crazy thing to see him go.
I'll be honest. I think if the UFC really wanted to keep him, they would have. But I think they wanted to, say, listen, Francis, you don't want to be here. See you later. Because the money he was probably asking for, I'm just going to speculate. I don't know anything,
Francis
but how
said
much
it wasn't the money. If you believe Francis, he said it wasn't the money.
So he's saying he just wanted to walk away from the UFC.
Francis Ngannou wanted stipulation so he could go box. And he could go do all types of other things that the UFC would sign him on to not be able to do. Just like if you signed with the NFL or Major League Baseball or whatever, they're signing you into the UFC. But Francis's thing was, hey, I'm an independent contractor, though. So if I'm an independent contractor, you got to treat me like one. Francis had his own argument that did not have dollar signs attached to it. It sounds like the money was right. Again, just listening to Francis, right? It sounds like Francis is saying, let's put it that way, the money was right. It was the other details. So just wow. And all the best to Francis. And yes, I just want to see him in some good, fun fights. Honestly, let me throw this one out there. Francis Ngannou versus Deontay Wilder.
That would be sick. I'm in on that too.
That's the fight.
Yeah, that's probably it. The Gypsy King fight, if that doesn't happen, that's fine. I'm down for that. I'll be honest, I would rather see Francis Ngannou box than do MMA outside of the UFC, because I really feel like you put Francis Ngannou in any organization right now, and I think he beats all the heavyweights. He is the fucking best heavyweight right now. The only guy that I really feel like the big question mark would revolve around would be Jon Jones or potentially Ciryl Gane again, because I will say, you look back at that first fight, that decision was close. Yeah. I'd like to see a rematch between them. So we're losing a few fights that I was really dreaming about. Gone 2, and then I think the Jones fight would have been like Hallmark shit.
And those are just the ones on the horizon, right? I mean, we've got some upcoming heavyweights, So there was gonna definitely be a career here for Francis. Hopefully he comes back, brother. Hopefully he does. What do you think about this Ciryl Gane versus Jon Jones fight? Are you a fan, AJ? Jon Jones is back, brother.
I'm so happy Jon Jones is back. I'm so fucking happy. He wants it. And I think a motivated Jon Jones coming up to heavyweight is the most dangerous form. And I'll tell you this, he's looking at Ngannou landing takedowns on Ciryl Gane, and he's got a smile on his face because Jon Jones, come on, man, the wrestling caliber that he brings in MMA is top of the line. The question mark really will lie upon, how does he deal with a guy that big? He has never fought someone that is that large of a human being. I mean, what is Ciryl Gane walking around at? Probably upwards of 270, 260, cuts down. He weighs in at 245, 250, ripped to the bone. Yeah. Is Jon Jones going to come in a little chubby at 245, 250? I really don't know. I'm hype as hell to see the fight. I think that we're going to find out if Jon Jones is right there as far as the best heavyweight in the world. Because let's say he murders Ciryl Gane. Let's say he takes him down and beats the shit out of him. The UFC will sell it well. They're going to say Gane and Ngannou was a questionable decision and Jon Jones just beat him better. He is the best heavyweight in the world. Now, if Ciryl Gane somehow beats him, he beat the GOAT. So it's like the UFC does a great job of just erasing you from history if you leave. They move on fast, man. They move on quick.
Show must go on, brother. I forget what celebrity said it or who said it. They're sitting cage side and they're like, man, I love the UFC. It's like Game of Thrones because, you'll have a character you think Robb Stark is going to be, and then he just gets murdered. You're like, well, I thought this was the hero, and now you got the new person to follow and the story just keeps on changing. And that's exactly it, right? Conor McGregor's up there and then he gets murdered by Habib, and then so the story just keeps on rolling, and that's what they'll do with the UFC heavyweight division. Let's be honest, it's been dead for a while, so it's good to see some big heavyweight fights. Thank goodness we get to see Jon Jones back. What a crazy layoff. You touched on the fight very briefly. Let me do the same. Jon Jones is going to have so much rust on him, bro. Is the Titanic still at the bottom of the ocean? That's how much rust we're talking about, brother. I mean, for him to come back against a fucking fast, dynamic, athletic, huge striker like Ciryl Gane, he better get to wrestling. And he's in the right spot with an Olympic gold medalist training at Fight Ready. He better get to wrestling in this fight. That'll be a big deal. Can he get Ciryl Gane down? Can he control him against the fence? Because out at range, if you're going to a close fight with Anthony Lionheart Smith, brother, How close do you think Lionheart Smith would be with Cyril Gane? Don't even.
I feel like John Jones. I feel like John Jones dominated Anthony Smith though. Thiago Santos was mad close.
Thiago Santos, Anthony
that was
Smith.
too close. And Dominic Reyes fight. That one.
Dominic Reyes. Oh yes.
That one's bad. Look him like, bro. When I look back at that matchup, I'm very concerned because if we get the John Jones that we saw against Thiago Santos or Dominic Reyes, he is in trouble when he goes to heavyweight. But I'm feeling like we get Cormier Jones, motivated Jones, John Jones that has that fire back inside. Let's be honest, man. For John Jones fighting Dominic Reyes, I don't think there was any excitement. How hard did he really train for that fight? We know John Jones sometimes will take a camp off, take some days out.
That's
He's
not good.
worried.
That's not what you want when you bet on people. I know he wins all the time, but that's not good, especially as they get older. You know, that's not good, bro. I want somebody who I know is going to be in shape.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. I understand. People, I don't know where they're going to be betting that matchup. I'm like thinking
close
John
odds,
Jones,
yeah.
It's right now. I think Cyril Gane is now a little bit of a favorite. Toss-up fight, dude. It's going to be crazy. And I'll tell you this, John Jones was my favorite fighter growing up. Okay. Right now, my favorite heavyweight in the UFC, I think, is Cyril Gane. I like his attitude. I like the vibe. Derek Lewis, the way he talks with that French accent, man.
Have you seen his Nate Diaz impression?
It was pretty on point, man.
He's funny, man. So yeah, 100%. Of course, you got to root for Cyril Gane, and he looked so good in his last fight. But he has huge holes in his grappling. That Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane fight, I've seen better jiu-jitsu watching blue belts roll at UFC Gym Huntington Beach, brother. So, you know, there are some holes in his game that John Jones can go through too. Fun fight.
Yeah,
I kind of want to go. It's in Vegas.
That's a card that would be crazy to go to, Mike.
Do you want to go? Should we go?
You know why I don't want to go, Mike?
Why?
I feel like I'm sitting on a fucking 100,000 view live stream if I stream it, man. I don't know.
You could be there in the, hey guys, here we are. I'm here with Finch. We're live. They would love it. They would love it, bro.
Mike, I want to, but you know what? I got to hit 50,000 subscribers first. I'll feel better about missing a pay-per-view.
You see how you guys got this guy working? Look how much content this guy drops. Me, I'm at the gym doing jujitsu. I'm messing around. AJ, video content all day. Good for you, brother. Good for you. Thanks, you hustle for the people. I hope you guys appreciate this, man. I see Luke Lopez blowing up the chat with.
I got one thing I want to bring up. Real quick.
Get those likes.
I got to bring up our guy that said he's in the hospital, man. So I just want to wish him well, Mr. Justin Mack, common member of the chat, longtime subscriber. Hopefully you're all right, man. What's going on?
It's not a broken leg, bro.
Yeah, hopefully not, man. I see he's got the pic of that. So if he did, then I'll say, damn, did you manifest that fucking shin snap? Holy shit.
Karma is real.
What was it? Hit the like button. Listen to our guy, Luke Lopez. Hit the likes, man.
Hit the damn likes.
Hit the damn likes, man.
We love
you guys. Somebody said we shouldn't be doing this during playoff football, fellas. Listen, put us on and listen to us and watch the game. You don't need to look at our faces to hear the picks. Come on.
Do you want to hear the commentators for the football? They always say pretty obvious stuff. You don't really need to tune into those. No human being actually talks like this.
Right? So come on, man. Play us, bro. We're talking about fist fights over here. You know, exciting shit.
Exactly. Let's go. Mike, I want to get into the picks. We went deep with everything as far as John Jones, last card, besides the Ketlen Vieira robbery, but it is what it is, man. People told me they don't care about that fight. I care, though. It was a robbery. Bad decision, at least.
Yeah. I mean, Ketlen Vieira clearly won round one. I mean, I don't have to tell anybody that. There was actually a judge. One of the three judges scored the first round. Was it Sal D'Amato? I don't want to say. I sent it to you, didn't I?
Yeah, I think it said unknown.
I was so pissed off. I'm like texting AJ. Yeah, one of the judges scored the first round for Rocky Pennington. Yeah. What?
I don't see it.
That's crazy. She got her ass kicked in that first round. Second round, Pennington won. Third round was kind of close. I mean, it wasn't the most blasphemous decision I've ever seen, but damn, guys. I mean, all the quality shots, all of the best, most damaging punches. Ketlen Vieira was the one landing those. Ketlen Vieira was much more dangerous. I do think Ketlen let her off the hook a little bit. It's one of those fights where the better fighter lost. You know, you see that happen sometimes. I know that's against what Chael Sonnen says. He says the better fighter always wins. I think, you know, when Matt Serra knocked out George St. Pierre, if you run that back 10 more times, I think George wins every time. It's like just sometimes. And I think that Ketlen Vieira let her off the hook. It was nothing that it was nothing that was out of reach for her. It was just a matter of her clinching too much, her engaging in Rocky's fight, which AJ, by the way, I think she did fine in the clinch. She definitely controlled position pretty well, but that's not.
She won the fight. She won the fight.
She won the fight. Ketlen Vieira won the fight, and that was sad to
Right.
see. That sucks.
Yeah, agreed, bro. Johnny the Greek impression. I'm betting the underdog. I don't know. Maybe I have a better one.
I have listened to about 30 seconds of Gianni the Greek. I have no idea.
I'm going value. I'm picking Nazardine by first round knockout plus money.
This is a good impression, and I don't even know what the guy sounds like.
Let's go, Mike. We got to get into these damn picks, Mike. I'm not trying to try you with this, but somebody's asking how you feel about two of these picks losing, and I just want to get their question answered.
Damon Jackson got his ass beat by the best Dan Ige we've seen. If you rewind this, how dare you be late to our show? If you rewind this, you'll
Finch
see
already
that.
said.
Absolutely.
No. Let's fucking go, man.
Wait. I'm scrolling back now.
Let's go, Mike Finch. Yeah, if I missed some of the chat, man. I'll be honest. I wasn't looking at it for a while. I was, more in the conversation, man. I'm keeping it live with Finch,
talking
man.
about, bro? I'm like looking back at the card right now.
Oh, Hernandez.
Oh, got you.
Team Oliveira, man.
Oh yeah. Well, dude, his opponent trains with Team Oliveira. His jiu-jitsu's nasty. So if you go back and watch the breakdown, that's exactly what we were saying. Like it's gonna be either submission on the other side or Carlos Hernandez can defend the takedowns. He didn't defend the takedowns. He was out there kickboxing pretty nice, which is what you expected, right? You expected him to be able to control the legs and because the kicks on the other side were the problem, but the jiu-jitsu level, just two different levels, man.
Yeah. Nascimento, I think, is a problem, dude. He's a contender.
Nascimento is one of the best guys on the ground in the division.
I agree.
Anybody who's on the ground with him, if that guy takes your back, it's not good. He also, by the way, in the cage looked a lot bigger than Carlos.
Dude, he looks like a lightweight, bro.
He's huge.
Holy shit. I don't know how he's doing that weight cut. It's insane. Wild. Let's get to the picks, Mike. Let's start it off. First fight on the card. We have Daniel Marcos and Saimon Oliveira. Fun fight right here, man. Bantamweight division. Marcos recently won in the Contender Series. I liked his performance. He beat a local Tampa guy in Brandon Lewis that actually I know is a jiu-jitsu coach, man. So I'm high on this Marcos cat, man, because he's able to strike really well. I'm picking him over Oliveira here. I like the Muay Thai style of Marcos better than the side of Oliveira, but I'll mention something. Oliveira is good with his submission skills. He does have a good guillotine, nasty tight one that he can lock up, almost got Gravely in it. So Marcos has got to mind those P's and Q's. But when I look at Marcos' style, I think comparisons a la Chris Gutierrez type of striking. And I feel like as long as he can stay off of the ground, and if they do go to the ground, not give up his back, I think he should be successful in this fight, man. And he pulls it off, winning a decision.
Marcos was beating up Brandon Lewis pretty good, but he still did get taken down in that fight, AJ. And looking at the Muay Thai between the two, I do think Marcos probably a little more dangerous on the feet, but Oliveira's Muay Thai's fundamentals are there. He comes out there with like the lead knee bouncing up, right? Kind of has those basics of Muay Thai that keep you relatively safe. Not the best hands I've seen. He's definitely hittable, but then when it comes to the ground game, I think Oliveira could get something going there if he's able to. Just seeing Marcos's takedown defense, I can't be confident enough in it yet. Seeing the way Lewis was able to get him down, and that's not the highest level. Like, I feel like if he ends up on bottom underneath Oliveira, it could be a problem. I'm going to go on the other side because they're in Brazil, bro. They're in Brazil. He's got to represent AJ. So I'll be on the other side of this one. Not a fight I'm looking to bet on.
I think Brazil's going to take an L on the first one. I don't know. Maybe I'm higher on Marcos than I should be, seeing that he beat somebody that like I've seen.
You think he could get a knockout?
I think he could get a knockout, but I'm pushing it to decision. He's going to outstrike Oliveira, but I do think Oliveira's going to be looking to land takedowns. I think the jiu-jitsu's there. I'm just not super confident in Oliveira's takedown ability. I don't feel like Brandon Lewis and him, as far as wrestling goes, is that much of a difference. Like, I think Brandon Lewis offensively with wrestling could be pretty similar to an Oliveira, maybe even better. So that's why I'm going the Marco side, man. Like, one thing I've seen Brandon Lewis in person. So like in this fight, I can kind of gauge what I've saw. And I feel like, I don't know if Oliveira is going to be that much better with his grappling besides, the length and the chokes than a guy like Brandon Lewis.
He's
strong,
got a good,
stocky. He's pretty nasty. So
he's got a good guillotine, good rear naked choke. I see what you're saying. That's why the money's staying in my pocket. But
Yeah, bro.
I'll just be
Close
on the
odds.
other side of you for fun. I could see Marcos grinding out a decision. I could see him being a little better on the feet. That pathway you're describing does make sense. I think the submission risk is a little higher in my assessment.
I like this fight, man. I'm thinking it's gonna be a good one to start it off, and I'm curious to see how good Marcos is, man. So
Yeah,
this one here, plus 147 for Marcos, minus 155 Oliveira. I like the side of Marcos at plus money, and I would just push you towards the money line. I don't think you'd have to go crazy. Now, if you are going to bet it, I'm going to read out the cautionary tale of UFC debut, has only fought to the highest level of the Contender Series. But something that I'm feeling good about is he was coming off of a long layoff when he fought against Lewis in that Contender Series fight. And now at least he's getting pretty close back to back, right? Maybe 5-6 months in between, whatever it is.
yeah, that's true. Coming off the Contender Series, it really feels like the UFC. I mean, you got Dana White sitting there cage side, like, you get those nerves, a little bit out of the way. So it's close enough to a UFC debut to me, man. It might as well be. Good fight. I think they'll have a fun fight.
Yeah, I think so too, brother. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card, we have Luan Lacerda versus.
This will be fun.
Stamann. I like this matchup too. It's interesting, right? Because the length is so favorable towards Lacerda. I am picking Cody Stamann, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, I sat on this fight and I had to dig into Lacerda a lot. Obviously, we haven't seen much of him, and I want to find out more. And what I was looking at is, okay, a good wrestler with short ass limbs, I think, can control, get position, and just lock himself on him. He's a T-Rex. I think that kind of saves him, though, from these joint submissions. Maybe an arm bar that a guy with longer arms could get caught in, because Lacerda is going to be shooting for different submissions from the bottom.
Lacerda's not an armbar specialist, though, AJ. He's a strangulation specialist. He's got chokes, he's got guillotines, he's got rear nakeds. I don't think he needs those T-Rex arms. Brother, I think that this wrestler might put his neck into some trouble, man. Lacerda's got guillotines.
You're thinking of that Saeed Nurmagomedov fight for Cody Stamann just 2 out because he got locked up in one bad.
Right.
I guess, going on the side of maybe he's a little more cautious with that. And I'm kind of thinking Saeed might have an overpowered guillotine choke after he won against Sadyokub Kakramanov. I'm not betting on Cody Stamann. I understand the Lacerda side for like feeling good about a potential bet because he's a really big underdog in a fight that stylistically doesn't seem like that, man. Yeah.
When I looked at the line, I was like, whoa, because of course, I always tell you I try to make my pick before looking at lines. I don't want to hear what anybody else thinks. Dude, this guy can kick his ass off too. He's another Andre Pedernera's prospect. He's dangerous from the outside. I understand what you're saying. Cody Stamann's got some boxing, but how the hell is he going to get to him past those kicks? The kicking range is the first range, and once he does get into that short range, he likes to shoot takedowns. There's that guillotine threat. I think this is close to a 50-50 fight, and then seeing what the odds makers think, I have to go Lacerda. I'm going with the dog on this one, and dude, it's kind of a juicy dog to bite into. I think I might take a stab at it, my friend.
I think you should, Mike Finch. I think it's a great dog attack. I'm going Stamann on the side, but like I'm going picks wise, and like the confidence isn't crazy high. Like I'm kind of in agreement. I think this is a close fight. This is one that I was going back and forth on. I settled on Stamann at minus 325 favorite to Lacerda, upwards of plus 310. You're better off going for that 3-1 underdog than betting on a Stamann. Please, guys, don't lock your parlays up with a Cody Stamann just because I'm picking him here, because I'm picking a minus 375 that should be a minus 220, or excuse me, a minus 125. It probably shouldn't even be near 2-1. I don't understand with the lines, man. I'm wondering, is it a trap line, or is it the fact that maybe somebody knows Lacerda's taking this fight injured or something like that? Because I'm confused at why it's this wide.
Lacerda finishing people in LFA 9-2, 9-3, finishing people in Brazil 5-2, 6-1. I mean, he's not having these like bullshit gimme fights that Shogun's opponent Pateria is getting. It's like he's actually fighting real people outside of the UFC, and he looks good doing it, man. So yeah, definitely. The being unproven in the UFC part. That's the part where I'm like, okay, this could go either way. As far as the odds makers, come on, man. I don't like that line. So if I'm gonna pick an underdog, I'd say this is my underdog of the card, my brother.
Yeah, agreed. Underdog on Mike Finch's side. I'm unfortunately going with the favorite. I'm like disappointed to be picking.
No,
Cody
no,
Stamann,
good. I
bro.
like it. I like it.
No, I don't like picking a guy that's not that good at minus 375. But like, I'm not trying to pick it based on the lines. Like you say, oh fuck, I'm trying to chill. Whatever. I'm fucking going with the guy that's a shit bet. Don't bet it on Stamann. Mike Finch, though, you can definitely play his side if you like Lacerda. I don't think it's a bad dog attack at all.
It's just a suggestion, people. You got to make your own decisions, ladies and gentlemen. I see some people in the comments, oh, I bet this or that. It's like, take people's opinions, learn as much as you can, hear from both sides, steel man the other argument. So if you're going to take fighter A, try to prove yourself wrong and look from all the people who are picking fighter B and try to, you know what I'm saying? This is the scientific method, right? You have your hypothesis, you try to prove it wrong. Don't just take people's bets. It's much better to listen to us and break down what we're saying than to just blindly follow. So absolutely not, AJ. You broke it down for people, and that's the best you could do.
Let's go. Let's keep running. Next fight, Josiane Nunes versus Zarah Fairn. Do I really need to even talk about this fucking fight?
I don't think we need to.
I don't think Zarah Fairn is UFC caliber at all. And Josiane Nunes definitely is. She's just in a weight class that shouldn't exist. Come on. This women's 145. We got no rankings. We got no contenders. Okay, Josiane Nunes wins this fight. Are we doing Nunes? They're going back to, they're fighting each other? Are we doing it for the belt? Because she's the #1 girl now.
Best poster ever.
Nunes. Yeah, that is sick.
Fairn, if you could play her like a video game, is she has some capabilities, like her frame, her long arms, boom, how she throws, she could throw punches. The problem, it comes into the technique areas, and the technique is lacking in so many areas that it's somebody you can't really bet on, as to where Nunes is more of like a full-time fighter. So you have to go with a full-time fighter when you're picking this fight.
She got that 1-star rating in UFC 4, right? My opinion on her.
Fairn's beginner mode, and the capabilities are there. What's funny is, if you put Nunes and Fairn in the best super camp you could possibly imagine and you wanted to measure progress, I think Fairn would make more progress. I think she could be athletic and maybe even smart, but the technique isn't there. It isn't drilled into her system. It isn't muscle memory yet. So she's putting her chin up in the air and making certain mistakes. If she actually buckled down, I think she's capable. So with athletes like that, you never know. I do think she's a capable human. It's not like she's like a weak and uncoordinated. No, it's the technique. The technique's not there. You got to go Nunes because Nunes is a full-time fighter. She actually competes consistently and does this for a living.
I feel like Fairn, to be in the UFC, wouldn't you want to have, at least some mediocre technique? Because I think she looks like a fucking street fighter. She's throwing these fucking like slaps where I seen Walmart punches that between chicks that look the same. So I'm not feeling Fairn at all. Wow. I think she's gonna get smoked, bro. Nunes is gonna knock her out.
AJ just said Walmart. AJ
man.
Said He didn't even say like Waffle House fights.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Waffle House is a level above that. Come on.
Waffle House, they can scrap a little bit,
exactly.
Right? Waffle House, the shit's going down. Walmart fights, we're talking about gassed out and quick.
Bro. Fairn she don't got it, man. She's got the slapping right hand. Looks like she's fucking throwing a purse at her opponent, bro. It ain't gonna land. She's getting knocked the fuck out, bro. That chin is up here. Nunes is gonna flatline her. She's 6-5 after this one, please. LFA or fucking, I don't know, French Fighting Championship, FFC. I don't know what the fuck that is.
He was for Eubanks at 7-7. He picked.
Yeah, but Eubanks can fucking fight a little bit. She's good. She's got a bad record, but at least she got skills, man. I look at Fairn and I'm like, dude, it's just not there. She's just got way too many technical mistakes. And I just think she relies on being taller, longer, and, maybe stronger than some of these mid girls, but she's not going to beat a Josiane Nunes. And if she does, I'm going to look like a jackass, but honestly, I'll still ride with the side that she's not good. It's just Nunes ain't going to be good either, but I think she is. Nunes is going to flatline.
We're getting her on the show. Okay. And we're going to pull up the Walmart fighter clip. If she starts winning by knockout and really starts, making it in the UFC, we're getting her on the show and we're pulling that clip up. That was a fucking fiery take by AJ DeVito, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause from home.
Listen, I'm channeling like a Mike Finch in me. I'm coming out with vengeance this week.
Do I talk shit? Is that my thing?
No, listen, I don't mind, bro. It's good. It's fun, man. I just said to myself, if I see something that I absolutely am disgusted by, which is mid technique that you can find better at a fucking dojo, you know what I'm saying? Karate, Steve's karate school, then I'm fucking gonna say it, man. I'm gonna say it.
Okay, that's why when I'm talking about Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane, when Francis Ngannou went for that leg lock on Cyril Gane, was Cyril going for it on Francis? Did I just get that backwards? Who fell back for that leg lock? That was awful.
That
Was awful for a UFC heavyweight title fight in 2021 or 2. That was crazy bad, man. So, we have to call it out when you see it. I agree.
Yeah.
It's our job,
so,
right?
I think so. It's our job, bro.
Do.
And that's it.
Got to tell the truth.
We can't listen, bro. If everybody's fucking smiling at us all the fucking time, we ain't doing it right. We're lying. So it is what it is. Fairn, I don't think it's UFC level, bro. She's gonna get knocked out. Now, the odds are stupid wide. Did way too wide. Minus 370. You're not throwing a bet on Nunes money line. Plus 420 Fairn.
The most confident pick I've ever heard you make. What do you mean you're not betting on it?
I mean, minus 370, I'll throw in a long shot parlay, but not money line, bro. I'm not throwing 370 for 100, bro.
I know when you type it in the little bet box,
I can't deal with that.
Pop up on the side, you're like, for $10.
No. And I'm not throwing. I need to be making too much, man. I need to be making more for that, man. Come on. Let's see. Let me think about this though, because I think Nunes. Do we get her by knockout? It's minus 125, but I kind of want to round pick it, man. Nunes by second round knockout is plus 525. I think I'll sprinkle that one.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So it could be a parlay piece is what I heard.
Yeah, definitely a money line parlay piece potential. Where's my book, bro? Fucking lost this thing. My book of bets that I'm bringing up.
AJ has a book, like a physical one that like you don't log into. He doesn't run, Google Docs.
No, I've never done that.
Like the Adobe suite. No. AJ has a pen and paper like he's Benjamin fucking Franklin writing shit down. That's awesome, bro.
That's funny, man. Dude, I don't know where it is, but I have to write it on here. I'm just going to write Nunes KO round 2. Boom. All right. I got it written down. I just need I like to have I'll jog it later. I can't find the book. I don't know what the fuck. I probably fell or something. Here's what it is. Mike, I'm feeling good about Nunes. She's going to win my knockout. I hate to fucking go at Fairn like a, absolute savage, but I just, ever since her first fight in the UFC, I said to me, what the fuck is this? And then it's women's 145 just pisses me off. Not the females fighting there, but the division in itself. Okay, we have a champion of a fake weight class. Oh, Amanda Nunes gets the dual champ status. It's fucking garbage. I want to see a rankings. I want at least the top 6. Give me the champ and then 5 contenders. Like, I don't know. I think we need something.
And some of the best fighters are actually outside of the UFC in that weight class. Chris Cyborg. She just lost in the PFL. Why can't
Kayla Harrison, the girl who beat her, who now we're not even going to know her name because that's just how the game goes.
You know what I'm saying? So there's some other talent outside of the UFC in
Larissa
that division.
Pacheco.
That's another problem.
Yeah, I think so. I think that Kayla Harrison is a problem too. Pacheco, Chris Cyborg. I want to see a lineup of all the best. Chris Cyborg might still be the best, man. I mean, think about it. A one-punch knockout in the UFC says goodbye to her. She could have easily won a rematch.
It was kind of, Dana's like, oh, perfect timing. Goodbye. Yeah. We got the better fighter, Amanda Nunes. They're going to do it with the Cyril Gane thing. They wish Cyril Gane would have eked out a decision against Francis, right? Because of the same thing. It's like Chris Cyborg could have easily come back and beaten Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes could easily come back and beat her too. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, they're like 2 of the best fighters in the world. Right. That's what I'm saying. So it's just funny how loyal people are, and I love the UFC. I'm loyal as well. But having her in Bellator has been a freaking blessing to hang out with Chris Cyborg and see her fight live, dude. One of the best 145ers in the world. That's going to make a big difference having a division with all these killers together, AJ.
Agreed. Mike, I'm going to have to title this timestamp Nunes versus Fairn plus banter because this is going off.
We've been going on all day, huh?
Yeah, we're going on. Let's keep
Next
running up.
Fight.
It is between Warlley, Alves, and Nicolas Dalby.
Okay.
Mike Finch, I'm picking Dalby in this one, man. I like more consistent fighters. I like his pressure style. And yeah, I don't think, Alves is a bad fighter, but it's not like he's win-loss. He had really nice body kicks against Munir Lazez, and he gets a W, and then Jeremiah Wells knocks him out in the last one. Nicolas Dalby is a consistent pressure fighter. I think he's pretty physically strong, definitely can take a punch, never been knocked out before, and I do carry that with some weight. And I think that he can out-pressure and work Alves in Brazil, unless they maybe rob him on the cards. I'm thinking Dalby by decision.
That's true, right? We hope the decisions are going well. Yeah, there is a submission threat here. Alves does have a nice guillotine he slapped on Colby Covington way back in the day, but the problem is he also jumps that guillotine and misses it sometimes too. It got him into trouble recently, and not the most active guy. Like you said, a little inconsistent, and then leads with kicks. Man, that's another thing that I just I really try to watch out for and not bet for. Somebody who just leads with a kick and their face is open to be hit, they don't set it up properly. They could get blasted at any time. And then Dalby could wrestle too, bro. So even if Alves does start getting him into some hot water, I think Dalby could wrestle back to his feet. He's got a nice switch. I like your pick there, man. I'll double down with you. Dalby decision.
Mike Finch and I doubling down on Dalby. I think that's a good idea, Mike. And I'm glad that you're thinking the same type of thing. Yeah, I mean, we got to go Dalby. I think he's got a good shot. I got to go with the more consistent fighter. He's plus 105, which, you know what, is good value. But Alves is also plus money. So either way you look at this, it's a pick'ems fight. You can find plus money at different sites. If you're looking at like what my bookie has, they have Dalby at minus 140, Alves at plus 110. But if you jumping over, right, to Bet Online, because I can bring up Bet Online now, because you know what I'm saying. Mike Finch knows. Plus 105 Dalby, Warlley Alves minus 125. I'm going to Bet Online and I'm fucking throwing down on that one. Plus money. Yeah. Hey.
AJ, cheers, my man. That's absolutely hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I think Dalby is the more reliable guy, and that's why I'm going to pick him here. I do have like a list of my top 5 picks. He's not on it, but he's the more reliable guy to have in this fight, man. I think Alves, you'd have to be kind of flipping the coin on hoping that he jumps on a neck.
Yeah, and I don't think it's that likely he submits to Dalby, man. I think the grappling resistance is there. We're going Dalby. Looking forward to this one. I do think decision. Play the money line. That's the way to run this one. Yeah. Mike, let's keep running up. We got great fights coming. Next matchup. Oh, shit. Terrance McKinney is back, and he's fighting Ismael Bonfim, one of 2 Bonfim brothers on the card, which is pretty dope. Listen, Terrance McKinney is a straight powerhouse, and I am going to pick him to win this fight. I think he can knock out Bonfim, but I'm not going to lie to you guys and say I don't feel this weird little tingle in the back that what if the second round comes? Because Terrance McKinney is 1 round or bust. He's done, longer fights in the past, but his style that he's adapted in the UFC is I'm going to kill you in 1 round. I look at him having so much success hurting a guy to the caliber of Drew Dober, which is why I feel confident that he does win. And I'm going to pick him in McKinney. I'm going to go knockout. But, I mean, it's not like Bonfim can't strike. He's got that good kickboxing, Brazilian guy. These guys are savages. His brother's also good. He digs to the body pretty well. But I just think he's kind of just too there to be hit. He's not like a super slick guy. He's kind of right in front of you. And I think McKinney finds the target.
McKinney is so explosive, AJ. Holy shit, man. You have to get through a storm when you fight Terrance McKinney. And Christoph in the chat says, did have Bonfim good submissions? He does have a couple submissions on his record. He definitely is a little bit dangerous there. But, I do see what AJ is seeing where this thing plays out on the feet a little bit. And Terrance McKinney is so much faster, dude. When I see Bonfim, he's a little more planted. He's a little heavier on his feet. And when he throws, he has good fundamentals. And he's kind of like blasting through a block. So like Boss Rutan does this, right? Boss Rutan preaches when somebody blocks your kick to not just let up on the kick, like kick right through their block. And you see Bonfim do that with style. Whop, whop. His hips will always come through on the shots. That's good for offense. The problem is the speed difference that Terrance McKinney has. I do think he can time him. And I do think if Bonfim misses, Terrance McKinney is going to make him pay bad. I have Terrance McKinney by KO as well. But damn, it's going to be a fun fight, brother. This is definitely going to be one you don't want to miss. I think it's going to be exciting. I think this could be an epic finish. And, with great risk comes great reward. I do think that he takes the risk and gets the KO. But make no mistake about it, there are risks that Terrance McKinney takes when he gets into these wild fights. He's explosive and he knows how to use it. I bet it'll come in handy here.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, dude. Holy shit, this fight's good. I got just distracted by a comment real quick. This is breaking news. Francis Saimon won at MMA Experts. Listen, I'm just looking that up. I don't think it's true. But now I got to pull up Twitter, bro. And if it is true, I'm going to be fucking irritated, man, if he signs with one. Because that's just, you leave in the American market. I'd be disappointed, man. Let's
He's a
see. It would
free
be all over
agent
Twitter.
1
Come on.
hour ago. Yeah, no, he's lying to us, bro.
Grade A trolling, dude. Grade
How
A
dare you?
trolling.
How dare you get me excited?
What a troll. It is what it is. But listen, this fight, McKinney gonna be my pick. Mike Finch feeling all right about it. It's like you kind of thinking the same thing though, right? If it goes an extra round, I'm nervous.
Yeah, because Terrance McKinney could gas. Terrance McKinney doesn't have energy management, but it's a 3-round fight. You know, hopefully he can gut this thing out. I think it's a smart question to ask how this thing could go on the ground. You know, Terrance McKinney's a beast. I respect it if you're going to bet on him. Personally, not going to. Personally, going to get my popcorn ready for this one. Put a little butter on top and enjoy this shit.
Yeah, let's go, man. Mike Finch, we're gonna eat some fucking popcorn and watch some violent festivities, man. That's what I'm doing all Saturday live on the channel. So tune into the Fight Companion.
All right, I got you. I dropped the last one.
I got to bring it in, you know. Minus 120 McKinney, plus 115 Bonfim. Listen, what I like here is the side of Terrance McKinney to win by knockout. I think most likely that's how he gets it done is plus 175. But I'm not feeling like throwing heavy at it, so it might be a light play on my end. It's
Bonfim's live.
Bonfim's too live for me, right?
Yeah, Bonfim's live. Bonfim's competent. He's in Brazil. How is he gonna fucking, you know? So it's a good fight.
Exactly.
And it could be a highlight of the year KO for McKinney too.
Right. Who are you talking to me or are you talking to the guy in the chat, baby?
Lose some weight.
Yeah. Listen, is he talking to me or the guy in the chat, man?
Me and AJ been in the gym, bro. I don't know if you
baby.
see AJ DeVito Fitness Instagram. We've been getting it, bro.
Yes,
all right.
Bro. We getting thick out here, man. I'm looking like a freaking brick house at this point, man.
Come on, man. We're out here working. We don't want to hear it.
Let's go. But yeah, man, this fight, we're going McKinney. But yeah, I mean, just be intelligent. Don't bet it stupidly. McKinney's a guy, it's a first round of bust. So something to know. Maybe the first round inside distance win.
It could be a live bet. I like that.
Yeah.
As soon as McKinney gasses, you know what I'm saying?
That's scary then. Yeah.
It's scary to watch. Yeah.
McKinney round 1 knockout is plus 300 also. So that's just something I had to bring up.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's his most likely way of winning, right? He goes out there and bites down on his mouthpiece and uses that speed. That's what, you know, if you're coaching him, you probably just like, okay, come out hot, like get it done, you know?
Yeah. Who wasn't talking? Thank you, Who. Good. I didn't think you were. I would have been caught off guard if you were. You respect. Much love, Who. We appreciate you, brother. Good man. Let's keep running, Mike Finch. We got more. We got Jailton, Almeida, Shamil, Abdurakhimov. I just had a Joe Rogan. Shamil fucking losing my tongue on these Dagestan names over here. Mike, I'm going to give you the microphone to tell us what you think is going to happen between you.
Jailton Almeida is going to run this man over. Look, it's one thing when you could be the better wrestler, but where are you going to get the fight? If you get it to the ground, Jailton Almeida is nasty there. He's not going to sit underneath him. That would be crazy, especially in just a 3-round fight. And then you're going to talk about striking with Jailton Almeida. I think he's more dangerous there. I got Jailton Almeida. I think he's one of the up-and-coming stars. He's a guy to keep an eye on. He's dangerous everywhere the fight goes, and Jailton can wrestle a little bit too. As far as Abdurakhimov, what he wants to do is clinch. What he wants to do is wear on Jailton. If he could slow Jailton down a little bit, then you could see him sort of making this thing close. I guess sort of like Rocky Pennington just did against Ketlen Vieira, right? Like make them fight your fight. And you know, I could see it being a little closer then. I got Jailton Almeida all day, my brother. He might look good doing it, man. He might even get a late finish on this guy.
Listen, I don't need to say nothing else. Listen, it's Jailton Almeida for the win. I'm going to call it submission. I think he'll win by sub. I do think he can get the back of Abdurakhimov. Probably, I don't know. I think it will be in the second round is kind of what I'm thinking. So the sub line, though, is minus 200. It's already been beautifully covered. It's expected to be an inside the distance fight. Jailton Almeida to win in round number 2, I guess. Maybe. Could be something. Plus 250. Now I don't know, man. I don't like playing that specific unless it's like giving me
the show's called Moneyline, AJ.
Yeah, dude. And there's no money line. You can't play money line, dude. It's minus 890 for Jailton, plus 630.
Damn, Vegas?
Shamil, come on.
Dude. Can nobody make some money out here, Vegas?
No.
Damn.
No. There's nothing. There's no money to be made on this one. Besides, unless if you got $1 million and you want to bet on Jailton, and then next you know he fucking slips in the cage and Abdurakhimov knocks him out. Don't bet $1 million on a cage fight, man. Come on. Unless you're like Elon Musk money.
Who was that guy who bet $1 million or won $1 million on bare knuckle? We had a guy. He was in
Yeah.
people were tagging him in the comment section. Yeah,
Brandon Olivas, I believe
there you
was
go.
him, right?
Shout
I'm
out to
99% sure it was him because I saw
Shout out
him
to him.
comment, and yeah, that was sick.
It can be done, it can be
Yeah.
done. But
Dude, I feel like I should have done it already, man. But then they banned the prop betting after that. Prop betting for bare knuckle is not around at this point. They're limiting it big time, so I don't know.
Almeida all day.
Ooh. Yeah, man. I think you're right.
I mean, do I have to give a finish? Shit.
Yeah, I think it's finished, Mike.
It's hard, man. He could TKO or submit him. I don't know.
Yeah.
I could see this going a bunch of different ways. The only thing I'm confident in is that money line. And if you don't want to, if that's not even worth a parlay for you, you got to make that decision. You got to look at those odds and make that decision yourself.
Yeah, agreed, Mike Finch. It's one-sided. Let's keep running. We got more. We got so many fights on this card, bro.
I know.
I'm not used to this shit, man. I'm used to already being at the main card. We still got more prelims. Listen, this fight right here is between Gabriel Bonfim and Munir Lazzez. Now, I'll tell you this. I think this Bonfim brother does get the win. I think he knocks out Munir Lazzez. I feel like Lazzez is a decent enough kickboxer, but he's not all that powerful. He doesn't do anything extremely good. I think a guy like Bonfim can crack him and hurt him with shots. And, dude, I think I'm going to go Bonfim by knockout.
It's the same thing we were saying about that Boss Rutan style of striking. When you bring your hips through, when you punch through the target, not to the target, but through it, I could name a ton of good strikers for you, right? I know he's a wrestler, but Colby Covington or people who pick away, a lot of the Diaz brothers mostly do this where they don't follow through on their shots. They're just putting them out there just to touch you with them. That is not the Bonfim style. Bonfim style is to go through and make sure your ancestors feel that shit. I think that pays off here as well, man. Yeah. I'm taking him on the cards, but I could see it, AJ. I think he's going to land the more damaging shots.
I got to disagree with our guy here. He's a degenerate UFC fan. Betting more than $10 on BKFC is some 1-800 gambler behavior. Listen, I actually disagree. I've gone undefeated. Dude, I've done better sometimes. I think bare knuckle could even be easier because you're thinking of just one art. You got the small gloves. One significant strike makes a big difference. You see somebody with some pop. I personally think bare knuckle, it could be safe. I don't think it is, but it could be safer than even betting MMA.
I agree with AJ 100%. Me and AJ host Bare Knuckle Bets, the Bare Knuckle FC, the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships breakdown show for them. And I'll say right here, a lot of those preliminary fights, they aren't as good as the UFC preliminary fights, meaning like the people have more fights and their defense is better. When you bet on certain people, if you have a competent bare knuckle fighter in there with an incompetent one, that actually happens more in those BKFC prelims. Straight up, sometimes you can get some nice steals. A 2-1 favorite really should be a 20-1 favorite sometimes, and I don't think the odds are the best on some of those either. So unfortunately, I have never bet on a bare knuckle fist fight. I do work for BKFC, so I should maybe look at the ethics of that. But I certainly have no effect over the outcome of those fights, and I definitely have looked at them with AJ pretty hard and been like, damn, there are some good bets here. So completely disagreed.
I personally do bet on bare knuckle, bro. Ever since we started doing the show, I have to throw down at least something every week, and yeah, I mean, I won some good plays, some parlays. I should have went crazy on that freaking bare knuckle first episode that we did where I went unbeaten on that shit. If I would have done a 7-fight parlay, I would have probably been leaving with $1 million. I would have had the $1 million in my pocket. Instead, I didn't do it. I overthought it a little bit.
7-0. AJ cleaned up nice. Donnie, hey Finch, don't bring family into this. Hilarious, especially because this is the Brazil card, right? So that's blasphemy for Brazilian culture. His ancestors will feel it. For Brazilian culture, that is blasphemy. We don't talk about family, so you're right. I'll keep respect. Respect everyone. Isn't that the Anderson Silva respect?
Good spider.
Chael Sonnen.
Good Chael. Listen, you are Chael, man. So don't feel bad about disrespecting at this point, Chael.
Stop. I've heard that too much.
Plus, what?
These guys in the chat keep calling me some actor or something. I don't even know the guy's name, but Chael Sonnen I've gotten before too. I'm the only Mike Finch, not the second Chael Sonnen.
That's what I like to hear, Mike.
Listen,
it's plus 450 for knockout Bonfim. I don't mind it, but money line.
You like that?
I mean, I don't mind. I think it's a good plus, but it would be like playing it alongside of money line. Like I touched the
Wow,
money
okay.
line harder.
That's
and I would
crafty.
sprinkle that. I would probably throw a little bit on Bonfim by knockout because I do think that's the confident method of victory for me.
All right, there you go. AJ's got
Okay.
KO. I'm gonna go decision, but
Fair.
I see what you're saying.
Fair, Mike Finch. Fair, my brother. Let's keep running. Next fight brings us to Thiago Moises versus the name is a little. It's Melquiziel Costa. I call him Mel Costa, Mr. Costa himself. Listen, I like this fight for Thiago Moises. I think the grappling advantage is going to be real here. I like Costa striking a lot, man. Some nasty fucking kicks. And I also I don't know, man. I can always appreciate a guy like Costa. I remember probably a year ago, I was reading an article about him. How he's trying to, build confidence for people with the skin condition that he has. I believe vitiligo. So I got mad respect for it. And he's a guy that I think is going to actually compete fairly well against unranked opposition in the UFC. But I think Thiago Moises is just too much of a grappling step up for a first fight, especially short notice. And
That's
Moises,
what I was going to say. Isn't this one short notice?
Yeah.
And how short, AJ?
I believe it's been, the Kutaladze pullout. I'm trying to think back. Was it a month ago? It might have been on that last card. I don't remember exactly, but I do feel
Guram
like
was the one originally scheduled. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was some time. It wasn't too long.
Taking Thiago Moises on short notice is going to be tough because I don't know that he's ready for that grind. Thiago Moises is going to keep on him. I think he should keep shooting takedowns, keep walking him towards the fence and putting pressure on him. I got to go Thiago Moises submission, brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride Thiago Moises too. Teetering the line on sub or decision. I think my official pick has been decision, but wait, is it? Let me double check that. Yeah, I think I went decision on the full card, but I mentioned that I don't think betting, Moises by sub's a bad idea. Just Costa, I mean, he is decently resistant. I don't know. Right now, I'm kind of feeling sub, so I'm liking what you're saying, bro. And Costa, somebody asked, what ethnicity is he? He's Brazilian, baby. He's Brazilian blood.
There you go. Come on, man. They're throwing down in Brazil. Brazil's
Let's go.
got their own. Moises is going to be better with the grappling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Minus 300 Moises, plus 250 for Costa. As of right now, I'm not seeing the props up, but let's see. By the time people watching this on replay, the props might already be up. So, hopefully that sub line is playable, but I might be able to find it here. Let's see. No, I don't have them yet. We'll get them soon. I'll have them later in the week. But yeah, sub line, if it's at decent plus money, plus 200 or more, might not be terrible.
I mean, again, I didn't say it for this one, actually. Not one of my favorite bets on the card, but we're getting there. Moises is more reliable, I like that. I like somebody who's a consistent performer. Thiago Moises, I'm pretty damn sure is going to get a hold of this kid.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. We're going Moises for the win with confidence. Next fight, though, holy shit. It's going to be a straight banger. This is a
fireworks, right?
Firework fight. Gregory Rodriguez versus Bruno Ferreira. Mad respect to Ferreira jumping in to replace Brad Tavares, who couldn't make it to the fight. He's undefeated, and he's, doing damage to his opponents. But I think that when he feels the power of Rodriguez, he crumbles. I think Gregory Rodriguez is going to win by knockout here. I feel like Ferreira is going to fight him in his type of fight. Rodriguez likes to bang and mix up shots. I think Ferreira is going to be willing to engage, especially if Ferreira has a little bit of success. I think then the knockout's even more likely for Rodriguez just cracking him as Ferreira comes in. I'm going to go Rodriguez to sleep him here, but I don't hate submission because I do think Rodriguez could hurt him and then maybe choke him out. So club and sub might be there.
Well, the Ferreira is going to bring that style, man. He throws big shots. He uses a lot of unnecessary movement, especially looking into his older stuff. It's harder for me to find some of his more recent fights, but especially some of his older stuff. A lot of his movement is a little unnecessary for a big dude like that. When I would go train at King's MMA under Rafael Cordero would tell me that. He'd be like, no wasted movement, relax and flow. And Fahea, he sometimes it looks like he's trying to make people hesitate. Unsuccessfully. It's too much. I could see him, starting to maybe gas a little bit if he's going to grapple with a Rodriguez. RoboCop's extremely physically strong. Heat, Fahea throws heat, bro. I mean, they're gonna clash for sure. I just wonder how all the rest of it goes. Fahea decent takedowns too. Rodriguez, I appreciate the UFC experience a little more. I do think he could weather a bit of a storm. Like I could see Rodriguez kind of getting hurt, coming through a storm a little bit, and then starting to, round 2 and round 3, getting this thing done. So 29-28, round 2, round 3. Give me RoboCop on the cards.
You're going decision. I'm surprised by that, Mike.
In a great fight. And again, Fahea is going to try to hurt him. And I could see RoboCop going out there and trying to, I could see like a rear naked choke, maybe. I mean, some ground and pound from the back. I don't think he's going to have a ton of success standing in front of Fahea. I do think that it's Fahea who's going to run in there and throw some big shots, and it'll be up to RoboCop to counter him or counter him with grappling. Do you think this plays out on the feet? Because if I think they grapple more, yes, I do see him going to the cards.
I think might get a mix of both. Yeah, I'm curious to see. I think it's going to depend on the success Rodriguez has early with the striking. I think he's going to find big shots, man. I'm going Rodriguez by KO. Money line, he's a very wide favorite at -325. Ferreira +285. Knockout for Rodriguez +150. And then submission for Rodriguez, which, you know what? It's +275. It's not all that great. For a second, I was looking at it. It said +2,000, but that was Ferreira by sub. I was like, no way, +2,000? No way is right. I think Rodriguez gets it done. He wins the fight. I'm going to say he does it by knockout, though, man. I think for, where he's heading towards, I feel like he needs that KO here.
1% club, mark my words. Fahea gets the W. He's very confident on Fahea. Very confident. And then right underneath him, Andy Gonzalez laughing at us, saying that this fight doesn't go this. Laughing at me, I guess, saying this fight doesn't go the distance. Andy Gonzalez, if you are that confident, then you go ahead and put your money behind your words, my friend. I do think that RoboCop can overcome a storm. Yeah, I think he gets hurt and is able to weather it. I could see this fight ending as well, of course, but I just feel like when I go bet on a finish, my risk reward ratio is all screwed up. I'd like to money line this one. How much of a favorite is RoboCop?
He's in that -300 range, man. So he's a 3-1 or more. I feel like this
isn't my lock. I mean, if anything, it ends up on a parlay. It's definitely not, those odds aren't very sweet.
Let me tell you, bro, I'm thinking that Brazil crowd in an all Brazil brawl without fights. Come on. There's going to be a finish. The crowd's going to be going they're going to feel a rumble and they're just going to go to war. Somebody's getting fucking killed in here, man. Not literally, knock on wood here. Somebody's getting knocked out in here. Put to sleep.
Brazil's wild, and they've had all that political unrest recently. I don't know if you guys know about the Bolsonaro election and what should I say? A lot of people are saying that the election was rigged. Whether or not the evidence represents that is its own story. If you're talking to Patricio Pitbull, there certainly is evidence, but I don't know. I need to look into it more before I give you my take on it. But I would definitely say there's political unrest, and they had huge riots, so I wonder if that bleeds over. Like, I wonder how rowdy the crowd is my point. How insane could this Brazil card be? One of the most insane UFCs was when they went back to, I believe it was Jacksonville. I believe it was your state in Florida. And it was Hamzat Chimaev versus Gilbert Burns. It was the crowd was back, right? Hamzat wasn't used to it. The crowd was going crazy. The crowd does affect fights, so I like that take, AJ.
Yeah, dude. I'm fucking excited. Let's go. Let's keep running.
Donnie, I'm not going anywhere. Don't you worry.
I saw that. Yeah. No.
Donnie, I'm not going anywhere. Don't you worry. We're staying right here. Moneyline Monday every single week, folks.
Let's go. Next fight. It is Shogun Rua versus Igor Poteria. Mike, you probably saw the breakdown, so I'll just say it again. And I'm thinking you're looking at a guy that was once great versus a guy that's young, athletic, but I don't think all that good. So now I'm forced to pick between aged fighter that's taking a lot of fucking damage, but is definitely better with his skills than Poteria. I'm like, I think Shogun might take him down. Poteria's takedown defense is not that good, man. I know Nego Mariano ran through him, but you can look at outside of the UFCs on his back at times. So I feel like I have to go Shogun Rua, Mike Finch. I'm going for him. I'm riding with the legend. He gets one more W. That Brazil crowd behind him, it's going to inspire him. He's going to feel power that's not been felt since, back in, I don't know, when he knocked out Lyoto Machida. Was that 2011? Before John Jones fucking murdered him. Before then, Shogun Rua, I'm calling it. He gets the win. I'll say decision.
Damn. Shogun Rua by decision.
Shogun.
Come on. How do you not root for Shogun Rua, right, AJ? It's like We've got to, man. We got to root for the legend. Of course, I'm rooting for the legend. When I was at my peak fanhood, okay, I was a child. It was like 2005. Shogun was the young star. You know, it was Ninja Hua and Vanderlei Silva and Fedor, and you know, Shogun was like the young rising superstar. It was that feeling like when McGregor was coming up, or when you first saw Hamzat bursting onto the scene, knocking out Gerald Meerschaert. You see this star being born, and you just wonder, like, how far can this go, right? And in 2005, he knocked out Quentin Rampage Jackson. He knocked out Ricardo Arona, Alistair Overeem. He beat Lil Nog on the cards. That's all in 2005. Okay, 2005, AJ, was 18 years ago. 18 years ago, that means that Ihor Potieria was 3 years old. Okay, that's when Shogun was in his prime. We're talking about 2023 Shogun versus this kid. How the hell am I supposed to know what Shogun's going to look like? It's like, how am I going to bet my hard-earned money and say that Shogun Hua beats this kid up? I have no idea. Does he have the skills to? Yes. Back when he was knocking out Alistair Overeem 18 years ago, he would beat the shit out of this kid. But this kid his time is now, you know? So I'm gonna go on the other side of you on this one. Potieria is definitely capable of landing on Shogun and putting him out. I'm worried of Shogun's chin, but as far as who I'm rooting for, as far as who I think has the better skill set, as far as who I think is going to feed off of that Brazil crowd, I'm rooting for Shogun Hua all day, my brother. He has my loyalty, and it's a beautiful thing to watch Shogun compete. One of the most exciting fighters in MMA history.
Yeah, man. I'm on Team Shogun. I don't know. I thought he looked all right with OSP in the last one, and I think he's better than a Potieria. I feel like Shogun's got one last go, but it's crazy. I remember when Shogun was 29, and I remember the UFC saying he's only 29. And now he's fucking 41. I'm like, geez, I've been following the UFC a long fucking time.
I know, bro. I know. I'm 30. What's going on, man? Time just keeps moving. This is crazy. I said I was the biggest UFC fan in 2005. Fights could move me to tears back then. Okay, when Quentin Rampage Jackson knocked out Chuck Liddell, it fucked up my whole week. Okay, I was a big fan. So I am a big fan, but I've followed Shogun his whole career, man. It's crazy to be sitting here watching him fight still. Respect to the legend. Huge respect.
Respect, dude. He's a big underdog, though. He's sitting at plus 180, so I guess not insanely wide, but still pretty wide. Potieria minus 195. Yeah, I'm going to go Shogun. I'd say you money line attack it if you are going to bet him, but you're breaking some rules, right? You're betting a guy over 40. You're betting a guy that is on a losing streak, and you're betting against youth. But the caliber of skill sets that these guys have, Shogun is here. Potieria is here. I see Shogun as, like we said, once great. Potieria, back-end UFC light heavyweight. So if it's, Shogun losing this fight, I think Father Time beat him, not Igor Potieria.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, we could say that before this fight even starts. I mean, if it was 2005 Shogun who was knocking out Rampage, stomping on his head on the ground, first round.
Yeah, first round.
Shogun was first round. This guy.
Just so you would kill him. It wouldn't even be close, man.
This kid Potieria is never going to see a UFC title shot. I don't see that, but he does at least have some. He has some shots. He has some decent takedown defense. He could definitely fight. If you just put combinations together kind of fast and aggressive, that might be all he needs. So I'm going to be on the other side of you on this one, but I'm hoping you're right. And I liked what you said actually previously. If you do decide to go on the dark side with AJ and bet on Shogun, you're going to have a lot of fun rooting for the legend, right? It's going to hype you up.
That's what I'm excited for, man. I think I got to ride with. And then if I look like a moron, you know what I'm saying? He gets knocked out in a round and the chin's gone. Father Time wins again. It is what it is.
Memphis Tiger way at the top there. Watch Shogun versus Henderson. 100% right. Shogun Hua. Mauricio Shogun Hua versus Dan Hendo Henderson. Hollywood, formerly known. That's one of the best fights of all time. If you guys have not seen Mauricio Shogun Hua versus Dan Henderson, correct yourself.
Yeah, check it out, man. I remember that fight. It's fucking crazy. If you go back and start watching old fights, like new fans that just come in, they think of Shogun as the old guy and all the old fight. But it's like, dude, at one point they were the youthful lions on the come up, and eventually our young savages are going to be the old lions again. And then a new fucking whole slew of them comes through. It's wild to see, dude.
It is. And generally the sport does get better. This is a tough pick. So, if it was a 26-year-old prospect, this would be different. The way I saw him get knocked out in his last fight, man, it was, I think he's capable of KOing Shogun, but I'm considering not betting on it.
Yeah.
I don't know though, because I want to see what Shogun looks like at weigh-ins. Like I want to see Shogun hitting pads. That's how I didn't know. But that's how I was very confident that Chuck Liddell was going to lose to Tito Ortiz in that last fight, is Chuck Liddell on the pads. It was so bad that they made it like a joke, like, haha, Chuck's just joking. He's not really that bad. No, he really, is that far past his prime. So, I want to see how Shogun looks, and that'll factor in to whether or not I decide to bet on it.
Yeah, we shall see, brother. Next fight. It brings us to our main card. Make sure you guys smash the likes if you haven't. And if you're new, subscribe. Keep it locked in. Moneyline Mondays. Sink that into your brains, guys. We are doing Monday, 8 o'clock Eastern time from here on out. No longer with Thursday. It's Moneyline Mondays. And it couldn't be a better way to start your weeks off. Let's talk about Paul Craig and Johnny Walker. And I'm going to give Mike Finch the microphone to break.
Are we finally on the main card? Holy shit, bro. Have we been talking? Just tell us to shut the fuck up on the other side, guys. Just tell us guys, can you keep going? I want to hear your main card picks. Paul Craig, this wild man, broke the arm of the title challenger in the main event. How the hell is Paul Craig at the bottom of the card and Jamal Hill on the top of the card? If you told me that after that night, I would be like, what? That's really how it went down. But sure enough, Paul Craig's had some adversity. I do think Johnny Walker is a test. Johnny Walker looked good against Cutelaba. I mean, really was able to perform against Cutelaba. That's really good to see. And it's a matter of just not engaging in Paul Craig's world, bro. He does not want to be on the ground, hanging around in Paul Craig's guard. Don't play around. You were saying how happy you were that the wrestler, Cody Stamann, had short limbs so that he wouldn't be getting armbarred. Well, here's a guy who's got some long, lanky limbs that he likes to bomb in there. You better be careful around those legs of Paul Craig. Paul Craig can triangle any person on this earth. And he'll also armbar you. He'll also strangle you in other ways. So be careful of Paul Craig on his back, Johnny Walker. If he minds his P's and Q's, he wins this fight.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, man. I'm going to go Johnny Walker. I feel like the Paul Craig big victory hype train has kind of diminished. And it's still Paul Craig that Alonzo Menafield knocked out. And I think Johnny Walker is so dangerous with the stand-up. I feel like Paul Craig, if he cannot get it to the ground, and I think Paul Craig was finding so much success because guys were playing the grappling game with him. They're willing to get into his guard. With him. I don't think Johnny Walker does. I feel like Johnny Walker is going to step out of that. He'll try to strike, and when they start striking, man, I think Paul Craig is too slow on the feet. I think he's getting caught with a big punch, and then Walker finishes him. TKO.
Paul Craig triangled Nikita Krylov. Look at how Nikita Krylov beat the shit out of Gustafsson. I mean, so this guy can drag good fighters into his game. Johnny Walker, it wouldn't shock me to be one of those people who you could drag into that type of game. But as far as like, if you're bringing me up to this and I got to bet on it, I got to pick Johnny Walker. He's the better striker. He should have decent enough takedown defense, and he's seen enough footage at this point. Don't walk into the bear trap.
Yeah, I just think it's like Johnny Walker is Mr. Inconsistency, but he's the guy that ends up beating a Paul Craig who has a win over Jamal Hill, who very well could be champion on Saturday. So crazy ass situation. I'm picking Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker.
Let's go. Mike Finch and I both. As far as the odds, it's not bad. You know what I'm saying? The line's not crazy wide. Minus 175, Craig plus 165. How I look at it is like this. Johnny Walker is inconsistent. So do I really want to back him with money? I'm going to lean towards the side of no. And then you look, oh, well, what about propping it up? Well, Inside the Distance is sitting at minus 135. That's not a very good line. Knockout, the same range, minus 145 actually for where it's at. There's not much, right? You can't. I mean, do you go walk around one? Like now you're just getting stupid. You're really just trying to absolutely dial it in. And I don't know, man. I just think Johnny Walker's too inconsistent. Maybe like, You could try
So
to go
is Paul
fight,
Craig,
and
bro.
Paul
You
Craig
know?
is also. It's just one of those weird ones, man.
I gotta go Johnny Walker, and I gotta say it's one of my top 5 favorite bets on this card.
Wow, Mike Finch, you're that confident. I like it, man. Craig by sub is plus 375 also.
It's just that Paul Craig is also inconsistent, and Johnny Walker is the one who's coming off of the very impressive performance. You know,
Yeah.
I think it kind of adds up to Johnny Walker looking good on Saturday, brother.
You know what? I think you're right, Mike. I'm gonna fucking, rise my stock of confidence just a bit. Hearing that you're that confident. I thought you might be going Paul Craig. I'm like, oh, is Finch gonna go for the grappler in this one?
If Paul Craig does it, it's because Johnny Walker is silly enough to go into his game. You know, can you imagine Paul Craig beating him up on the feet? I don't see
No.
it, man. I think Johnny Walker is much more dangerous. What a physically imposing person, you know. Johnny Walker could be really good. Just needs to be smart in that cage.
Yeah, agreed, bro. I just got to put this guy in timeout over here. He's banning he's just spamming that.
Banned.
Get the fuck out.
Saying Twitter. We ban people out here on Moneyline. Come on,
baby. Let's go. Let's keep running. Next fight, Jessica Andrade, Lauren Murphy. You gotta, for me, go Andrade. She's the better fighter, but like Lauren Murphy is just good at making people look shitty when they fight her. Like she makes girls look bad. She does it well, has done it time and time again. I think Andrade wins a decision in this fight, but it's probably closer than people would maybe anticipate with the odds and a Jessica Andrade performance. I'm not going finish. I think it's going to be decision.
I like that breakdown. Yeah, Jessica Andrade just should be better. She should be a lot better when these girls lock up. But Lauren Murphy's tough. You know, Lauren Murphy's strong. She's definitely one of those gatekeepers. Like Lauren Murphy kind of decides whether or not you're of that upper echelon. Andrade has proven that she is. She touched that title. You know, she slammed Rose on her head. My favorite commentary of all time. She's got a high crotch, which you could famously lift from, right? And it was either the single leg or the high crotch, but all you do is you go from the single leg and you put it right up in the crotch and you engage your hips. And Rose is reaching over and grabs a Kimura grip, which actually connects Rose to Andrade. So Dominic Cruz is on the microphone and he goes, well, she can't lift from here. On cue. Not only does she lift from there, she picks Rose up into the air. She spins Rose around 180 degrees and she spikes Rose on her head, knocking her unconscious and winning the title. My favorite ever commentary moment from Dominic Cruz. Thank you for that treat, Dominic. That was awesome. I don't know how many times I rewatched that and laughed with my friends. Epic moment delivered by Jessica Andrade and Dominic Cruz.
I like it, man. Andrade
decision.
Yeah, Andrade's decision, bro. We're on the same side. I feel good about the confidence. It's just the line, bro. It's minus 450. We have, I don't know, man, 2 weeks back to the UFC, and I feel like half these fucking lines are boxing lines. These are crazy wide. I don't think Andrade should be minus 450. I think she should be minus 250. Yeah.
They take the obvious picks though. Like the obvious pick was Umar Nurmagomedov, and he was in kind of a fight, and then he gets a knockout. Or it's the same thing with this one. It's like Andrade, I think, is just the obvious pick here, and that's why they're just gonna slant it. So and sure enough, we're both on it.
Andrade by decision plus 145, over 2.5 minus 120. What do you think about those?
Give me the odds again.
It's minus 120, over 2.5, or Andrade decision plus 145.
Could Andrade finish her?
She could, bro. She's got power. She's also on a 3-fight, not in a row, but 3 of her most recent wins are all finishes. So like that's something I'm concerned about.
Finish. Yeah, I like that for sure. Valentina Shevchenko, in the 4th round, beat the shit out of her. But these are some decent wins. Misha Tate, Joanne Wood. No, they're going all 3, bro.
I like it. Mike Finch thinks they're going all 3. It's minus 120. Maybe a play for you guys. Personally, I don't know. I'll sit on that one. But right now, I'm not going to attack it. Not putting it in the book as of right now. Not yet. Let's go. Mike, let's keep running. We got more. We got this next fight on the card, which is Gilbert Burns and Neil Magny. We finally got to the featured bout. This is a good one.
Come on, people. You got to love seeing Gilbert Burns back in that cage after that Hamzat fight. I know you guys rewatched it when the UFC put it on YouTube. I did.
Mike Finch, let me ask you this. Do you think Neil Magny has a chance?
When you say it like that, my wife gets on me about this all the time. Like, I'll take people literally at what they said instead of what they mean. What you mean? No. But what
Yeah.
you said is, does he have a chance? Like Matt Serra knocked out GSP,
True.
Gabriel Gonzaga KO'd Crow Cop with a head kick. Yes.
Yeah.
Neil Magny has a chance. He's extremely tall and lanky. He does have, some striking, but it's not super dangerous, which is what you'd probably want to see against a Gilbert Burns, who has looked a lot better on the feet. I do think over there at Sanford now, Killcliff
MMA.
Is that
Yeah.
where that Gilbert has been getting in incredible work, man. I know that he's been working with the Bellator champion, Logan Storley. Logan Storley's an insane wrestler, and that's really had to help get him ready for Hamzat and also just get him ready to decide where fight takes place against like a Neil Magny. And then on the ground, you guys know Gilbert Burns is a jiu-jitsu champion. The one thing to never overlook about Gilbert Burns is he is a short guy. He really is more so built for 155. I do think that ends up catching up to him when he tries to touch this title. But at this level in the middle of the, or maybe towards the bottom of the top 10, I think he looks good against these guys, man. I do think he smashes a Neil Magny, who I'm a fan of, who I've done commentary with. But I call it like it is. I see Gilbert Burns deciding where the fight takes place and dangerous enough on the feet now. He's well-rounded now.
Yeah, I think Gilbert Burns, he'll land takedowns, and I think he'll eventually get the submission. I'm going to go Burns sub. Money line's not getting touched, minus 385. Fucking Magny is plus 350. Big dog, but for good reason. I mean, think about the short Brazilian that choked him out before, right? Dos Anjos. I think Gilbert Burns can do his thing here. As far as win by sub, Gilbert Burns is plus 215. I don't think that's a horrible play because I think he's got a good shot. Submission.
Wow.
That gets written
money.
down. Yeah.
Gilbert Burns is a problem on the mat, man. Yeah, I could see Gilbert Burns wrapping a neck up at plus money. That's interesting. Don't you tempt me, AJ. I just like to money line. Don't you tempt me.
Dude, I think that's a good prop. I just wrote it down. I like Gilbert Burns. High confidence that he gets it done. Very, very high confidence, man. He's going to make it look pretty one-sided here.
He's got hands now too, bro. You saw him trying to knock out Hamzat, so I wouldn't be shocked to see a TKO. I wouldn't be shocked. And with Neil Magny, he just wants to slow that boy down, keep him on the outside, make sure the fight stays a block away, uses long-rangey kicks, kickboxing, takedown defense. That's how Neil Magny makes this a fight. Yeah. Gilbert Burns is going to get him.
I agree. Let's keep running. Let's jump to the co-main event. Davison Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno 4. We got the UFC's first ever quadrilogy going down this weekend.
Is that right? That's the first ever.
First ever. I remember when Dana White was shitting on the Marquez and Pacquiao quadrilogy. Yeah, we'll never do that in UFC. Now he's here. Yeah. He's in his place from the outside. And then, years later, shit lines up and it happens. Listen, I think that you have to go with Davison Figueiredo. The team he's trained with at Fight Ready, the game plan they had for the first time. I was honestly surprised how people were saying that not the first fight, the trilogy fight. People were saying should have went Moreno. I thought that Figueiredo clearly won. And I had picked Moreno. I remember as I disagreed with you, I said I'm going Moreno and you went Figueiredo. I got to go with Davison Figueiredo, man. I think he can do it again against Moreno. I know Moreno's a tough customer. I think it's a close fight. I think it looks similar to the last one. Might be a split decision. I'm going to say Figueiredo gets it done on the cards for a second time officially as a winner. And he wins the quadrilogy between these two. The rivalry ends here, probably.
But I mean, the UFC likes to put this fight on every other weekend, so why not run it back a couple more times? Come on, let's have some fun. I do think it's a fun fight. I do think it's a fun matchup. Last time these guys fought, I got to bring you some inside information because I was there at Fight Ready. I got to sit there cage side and watch Davison Figueiredo weeks out from his fight in sparring, coached by Henry Cejudo, Captain Eric Albarracin in his obnoxious fur coat pretending to be Bruce Buffer. They were playing the booze on loud, and they had him in enemy territory there. They knew the Mexican fans were going to frickin' pack the place, and they made sure they were ready to go take that title, and they did. Now what does he get? He gets cheers instead of booze. He seems like the type of guy to thrive off of cheers. I just don't want to see him get into hot water with Moreno. If you look at how he beat him, Figueiredo was able to use that calf kick, which I didn't tell anybody about, but it was something that I saw him using in the gym. And I expected to see it, and sure enough, he was using it out there in that fight. It made a difference. The deep stance made a difference. You see Patricio Pitbull. You see Henry Cejudo. They adopt that karate style, that deep stance where they control sort of the when the fight takes place part, right? They're in, bop, 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 they're back out. They're able to move very, very quickly in that deep stance. And Davis and Figueiredo sort of adopted it for Brandon Moreno, and it worked. You know he's going to be firing on all cylinders on this one because it already worked. He already made the style adjustment. Now he has to do it again. He's already done this. He's already done this race, and he looked good doing it. I think he doubles down on what worked, which is that deep stance, moving in and out, using that calf kick, and putting his punches long. You know, when he stands long like that, and he gives you one from far away, Davis and Figueiredo already hit so hard, man. It's so hard to deal with that. I got Figgy as well. Brandon Moreno is a tough customer. I'm not betting on this fight. I'm not telling anybody to bet on this fight because Assassin Baby is for real. It's just that you have to consider that Assassin Baby also had some adversity, man. His coach turns out to be, you know, not an ethical person, and he had to go and switch coaches at 4 or 5 weeks out. I mean, you know, that's a lot of adversity for the kid to deal with. I'm calling him a kid. Holy shit, I'm getting old. Yeah. So anyway, I got Figgy, bro.
Figgy for the win for both of us, man. It's even line, -110 on both sides. It's one of those, man, to bet on. Like,
enjoy, guys.
Yeah, I think you sit down. This is a quadrilogy, so you know it deserves to be -110 because there's one. Have we ever seen this 1-1-1 against each other? It's insane.
No, man,
we haven't.
I mean,
over 4.5 rounds, -145. I don't even like that. I think you let these two run their course, man. I'll go Figueiredo as the pick. But yeah, I don't love the bet. I know the value's not bad, but I want to sit back and watch. I don't want to be pissed off when shit goes sideways.
Right. You know, you can have some confidence when you're thinking about betting with Jailton Almeida. You could have some confidence when you're thinking about betting with Gilbert Burns in those matchups. But you look at this fight, dude.
Yeah.
These two are very capable of winning this championship. It's a very close competitive fight, fun fight between these two. Both of them need to make little adjustments. Who will make them? I mean, so far we've seen the person to make the adjustments better has been Figgy.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to ride the same side. Me and Mike Finch both. And this is a funny comment. The only reason why my boy AJ knows about John Jones hiding under the cage from USADA is because he was there hiding through AJ the Eraser DeVito. Listen,
flex for him, AJ.
Tell USADA to come to my door, baby. Tell them come through, man. I'm here for USADA anytime, man. Whenever they need me. USADA, hit me up.
Hell no. No, my man AJ keeps it clean, folks. Come on now. Come on now.
Listen, we got work over here. We got another fight. We got a main event. We got a good main event. We got a great main event, I'll say. I know you might be like, what? Great main event? No, here's why it's great. Because it's a Brazilian title fight with the legend of Brazil. Glover Teixeira gets his chance, the homecoming fight for the belt against a tough customer in Jamal Hill, but someone who was taken down 6 times by Thiago Santos. And that's, for me, all I needed. And I got to go Glover Teixeira. I'm saying it right away. Mike Finch, let me hear your thoughts on this matchup, brother.
Jamal Hill is dangerous as hell. You can't play with that guy from distance. He's got a big speed advantage on Glover Teixeira. And if you look at how people have hit Glover Teixeira before, it is that purgatory. It is that mid-range when you go from long range to mid-range. What Glover does well is he'll move, and then he comes in and hits you. But as he comes in, as he closes that distance, Jamal Hill could whip some shots into there and end this thing at any point. That's what makes me hesitate. The other thing that makes me hesitate is Glover Teixeira is 103 years old. 43 years old. I do think that Glover Teixeira has a clear pathway to win this fight, though, and AJ DeVito spelled it out perfect for you. My man AJ knows what he's talking about. He sees the takedown option, and ADCC was having Glover Teixeira compete for them a decade ago. Glover Teixeira has been better on the ground for a long time. Anything you see from Poatan, the UFC middleweight champion, Glover Teixeira is teaching him that jiu-jitsu, right? He's bringing him up. So Glover Teixeira, seeing his student win the title, being in such competitive fights at the top of the division recently, you got to think Glover Teixeira has a pathway to get this thing done. My hesitation is he's 43 years old. He's going against one of the best punchers, fast punchers that we've seen in the light heavyweight division. Be cautious. If you are going to bet Hill, you got to think he gets a KO. And if you're going to bet Glover, you got to think he gets it done by grinding with the grappling, right? Does that mean decision? Does that mean submission? I don't know. But if you're going to bet Hill, I would just say that I would consider the KO prop. And I'm sure AJ's about to hit me with it now that I brought that shit up.
Listen, I got the props ready, locked and loaded. As far as I'm going to go method of victory, Glover Teixeira submission. So I'll read that one out. I think sub very possible. It's plus 260. Jamal Hill to win by knockout, plus 115. Glover Teixeira is sitting at plus 105. Jamal Hill minus 115. It's essentially pick'ems here.
Those are nice odds for Glover Teixeira, man. I could see Glover out grappling him for sure, and we've seen obviously Paul Craig submit Jamal Hill. I'm sure his elbow's never been the same from that. Jesus, that was horrific. And AJ brings up the takedown defense problem. That's exactly the recipe that Glover needs to employ. Does Glover strike with him too much? I don't know. He did just get through a freaking war with a guy who I think is probably even more dangerous than Jamal Hill on the feet. So yeah, bro, I could see Glover winning this fight, AJ. I like that pick.
Yeah, I think so, dude. I think there's a good shot. I'm looking forward to this matchup. I'm going Team Glover, Mike Finch.
At 43, he's winning the belt again?
It's insane. It's insane, bro.
What is happening, brother? Do you think either of these guys beat Vadim Nemkov?
Mike Finch, I can't answer that question, and I knew you were going to say that. I have no comment on that. I have no comment, Mike Finch, Mr. Bellator. I got no comment. But I'll tell you this. Vadim needs to get signed to the UFC because I would love to see him fight the likes of Ankalaev, Prohashka, Glover, or Jamal Hill, whoever's at the top. I'm very interested.
All right, I got no comment on that then. We're even now.
That's fair, Mike Finch. Listen, good card, fun main event. You got our picks, guys. We got the lock section to come through. We want to give you guys the lock section. I want to describe it to you guys. It's not going to be fucking Jailton Almeida at minus 900. The lock section is going to be confident, valuable picks. And let's jump into the lock section in just 3, 2, 1. Locks time. Listen, Mike Finch. What are we looking at? What are we craving for locks? What do you have as your lock this week, Mike Finch?
Dude, I honestly love this huge underdog Lacerda via submission. How insane would that be if this huge underdog hit? Like, I'm looking at it, and when I think about me betting, for Saturday, that's one where I'm like, I think the bookies got this shit wrong. So I might be a fool to pick it, though. I mean, I guess the odds for that Johnny Walker UD, hit me with the Johnny Walker odds. Johnny Walker to beat Paul Craig, Moneyline is
minus 175.
I like minus 170. So we'll call lock of the night Johnny Walker. But come on, man, that dog, I think I got to hit that like a second lock.
I like that. I like the Mike Finch dog money confidence. Listen, I'm going dog money on my lock this week, which is, not common play. Normally, I'll give you guys like a valuable favorite. I have to go with the side of Nicolas Dalby. Warlley Alves is too inconsistent. If there's someone that can go down to Brazil and pull it off, we're going to go Nicolas Dalby. I'm confident that he can pull this thing through. It's an underdog lock. If you said, oh, bro, what? That's your most confident pick of the card. Jailton Almeida is minus 900. We're giving the betting lock. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
The betting, one thing like with the lock, because I think it could be misinterpreted, right? It's more of like the value lock. It's not the, the most confident pick on the whole card. It's what the bettable play is that gives you value for confidence, right? Like that fuck around, find out chart. It's the same thing with value and confidence. That's it.
I love that shit. Yeah. I love that chart. Hey, if you guys want to know that other definition of the lock, I'm doubling up with AJ. Jailton Almeida, Gilbert Burns, right? Jessica Andrade. It's just the odds are a lot wider when you look at those.
Right. That's lock money, right? Like it's not, that's not lock money. That's not lock money. That's, confident pick. If you're maybe parlaying up something for shit value, to me, I gotta go dog attack, and let's grow a sack for this fucking underdog lock. Mike Finch, we're killing it, and it's time for the parlay.
All the competition that try to compete, stand back, watch the bomb drop.
Parlay time, Mike. I want to give you the pay-per-view parlay. You know what I'm saying? Let me hear what you got. I got the lines in front of me, and you give me your value.
for the parlay, let's go ahead and throw Ihor Potieria in there. Done against Shogun. I do think as far as betting goes, like you got to be smart and you got to think like it's not about who I'm rooting for. I am rooting for Shogun, but I think if I'm looking at it objectively, Potieria ends up in that. Unfortunately, even in Brazil too. I mean, damn, am I rooting for Shogun? I would so much rather be wrong about that. And then we got some big favorites. Let's throw in Gilbert Burns in that mix. I mean, my favorite picks: Jailton, Almeida, Gilbert Burns, Jessica Andrade, Johnny Walker, Iho Potieria, and Lacerda submission. Just giving you guys all that right now. There's a bunch of value for you here. That's for free.
81.
As far as a just to give AJ a parlay, Potieria and Gilbert Burns. I would think that your money is. I would think that my money is going to do okay there. And then, personally, I'll play that Lacerda and I'll play that Walker bet separately. That's the blueprint anyway.
Minus 105 for that. So,
gotcha.
Some decent money, not terrible. I like Gilbert Burns where you're thinking with that. I think Thiago Moises also a very good addition that you can do. So if you went Gilbert Burns, Thiago Moises, and then there's the Bonfim brother that I think's getting it done. It's Gabriel Bonfim. I'm going to add him to the slate. You're looking at plus 170. So we're going 3-fighter play. Gilbert Burns, Thiago Moises, and Gabriel Bonfim. You got to have balls for that one. So if you're like, listen, I'm not playing no guy coming off the Contender Series, sure. Add in, Jailton, Almeida, and get yourself minus 110, which is closer to Finchman's. But come on. You know what I'm saying? We're going parlays. We need the value, man. When I start looking at parlays, bro, I go fucking bananas. Josiane Nunes, you added her to the slate. It's plus 105. Burns, Moises, and Nunes, to me, is a guarantee. I'm very confident that those three are going to win. And that's not including, a minus 900 Jailton Almeida or even Jessica Andrade, who's minus 450. I'm just creating this real quick, Mike.
No, and I like that Nunes sprinkle. I almost left her out. I almost forgot about her. That's a solid point. That's a confident pick from AJ earlier in the card. I've never heard you go off like that ever, bro. That was explosive, my man. You blew a gasket on that one. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, apparently you need that in your parlay, my brother.
I think so, man. Listen, if you want to go like crazy confident picks that the value isn't great. You're looking at a Gilbert Burns, a Moises, a Nunes, and Andrade, and an Almeida. It's plus 180. I think those 5 all come through. I think we got you guys covered with some good parlays. I'll go even deeper this week with the, this week's Best MMA Bets episode where I'll chat it up about it in pure betting side of things. But right here, we still brought the heat with the picks, the takes, the news reactions. What else could you ask for in the beautiful
We're having fun. We hope you guys are as well. Drinks with a fist. What is up, AJ? Did you find a lint collector for that cap? That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's pretty
yeah.
He's hating on your beautiful cap, which is, by the way, looks pristine as fuck.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I didn't think it looked linty. I was like, what? Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that, man.
Not at all. We brought the heat as usual, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have fun. Bet responsibly. Tune into all our stuff. AJ is going to be dropping picks all week. I got it rolling with my show. So I did 2 spotlights recently. One with Yari, who's a bodybuilder, amateur boxer, trains with Rothwell. They're sponsoring them to, like Ben Rothwell competing in bare knuckle fighting championships. I also had on the Madman, Mads Burnell. He did a call out on my show. It's all on my channel, which AJ always links at the bottom. Appreciate that, brother. And Monday Moneyline, you guys got to lock it into the calendar. I saw a couple guys in the beginning. Oh, I forgot. No, don't you be forgetting. Monday Moneyline. We will see you here every single week. We appreciate everybody who tunes in live and the replay gang coming through strong all week. Bet responsibly. Have fun. These will be some good fist fights. AJ, I'll try to drop in when you live stream, my brother.
Dude, I'm going to be doing a live tomorrow. I'm probably going to try to go live Thursday, and then I'll be live for the full card Saturday fight day.
Nice.
I'm trying to bring, the Q&As, man. I know people like to get to me and answer the question, ask the questions. I give them the answers. So shit's coming, guys. Stay tuned for big things. I'm trying to stay consistent with not just the picks, though. I'm trying to drop some news reactions. I have some things.
I see you out here. As soon as this Cyril Gane thing and John Jones, there AJ goes with his videos. Good, man.
I just got to improve the thumbnails a little. I'm still finding my flow on that. You know what I'm saying? It's my new marketplace.
Yeah, well, me as well. I mean, when I look at your channel, I see the hard work. So keep killing it, AJ. I'm sure they appreciate it. I'll keep trying to work. I'll try to take some of that energy from Mike Finn's show channel. Okay, I'll try to deliver it back. I got to focus in on it and start making some thumbnails as well. That's not what's fun. You know what's fun? Talking about fist fights, predicting fights. fun. Making a thumbnail. Somebody hit me.
I
up.
actually like it. I'm a sick fuck, dude. I like the graphic design shit, but I have to do it all the time. I'm like obsessed with it at this point. So perfect
All right.
thumbnails on the way. Mike,
All right.
thank you for coming through. Another beautiful week talking
course,
about
brother.
the violence. More shit coming next week. Stay tuned. Much love, people. See you all week long. Don't forget to subscribe to the Finch. See you guys in the next one. Peace.